Hey, how are you? W.J. O'Reilly here. Yeah, I've been thinking about these videos I've been doing centered on the book, The Fiction of Forgiveness, and I was wondering if we might recontextualize this somewhat and rename it and just kind of maybe expand on the focus a bit and call it the name of the trilogy, which is Angry Buddha. The significance, well, I don't know, it's kind of an oxymoron for a lot of people, isn't it? I mean, Buddhism is supposed to be serene and peaceful and like that, and hey, I've been a Buddhist for many years, and that's definitely not me. But in any case, I wanted to just, once again, at random, I wanted to read a chapter and do a bit of reflection on it and see what kind of responses you might have to it. The part of the trilogy, it's called The Fiction of Forgiveness. I've been reading from it. And this is chapter 30. Arrangements of the Psyche, hear what we have in store for you. This is way out there, the decade when everybody dies. I'm afraid to die. I think I have something more to do, more to believe, more to say, and more to think. I don't know if this is really true or not. Probably isn't. I set a target and I consider working towards it. I am glad I'm not trying to write these journalistic proofs. They were so anal and I hated the process. So much for self-hatred. So here we are. And I take it from the gods and from the illustrious of us that this is the damn thing to do. Breathe, damn it. Listen to the trash man outside. I hear the motion sensor and the truck whooshes past the house and the trash is miraculously gone. My goal is to transcend my pain and lead others to transcending theirs. This is only it. There is no other goal in mind. I don't care if you love this or hate this or compare it to your favorite writer or poet or rapper. It shouldn't matter, and it doesn't matter. Jeesh, somehow that didn't put me at ease. That's when I figure out she was furious with me and she wanted me gone, so I was gone. Is that the end of the chapter? It is. How does that fit into the fiction of forgiveness? Wow. So in this, you've got things about arrangements of the psyche. Here what we have in store for you. This first mention, this is the decade when everybody dies. No doubt some kind of a reference has to do with COVID. And, you know, some people call this might be the era of the COVID. You know, the ever-transforming COVID virus. And, you know, the banal way of living, you know, setting a target, working towards it. And I'm glad I'm stating here, I'm glad I'm not writing journalistic proofs. They were anal and I hated the process, so much for self-hatred. So here we are. So something about taking stock of the present. Taking stock of the present. And I'll tell you, and anything that I'm doing or that you're doing, that you're reading, that's the essence of all of it. It's about getting into present time. So in this chapter, if nothing else, it certainly doesn't follow any kind of a storyline. I mean, at one point I'm talking about the trash man. Listen to the trash man outside. I hear the motion sensor and the truck whooshes past the house and the trash is miraculously gone. You know, picking out at the most mundane things to have a look into, to become the anchors for being in present time. Is there anything more important than this? There's only one goal in mind. I don't care if you love this or hate this or compare it to your favorite writer or poet or rapper. This thing about approval as well. You know, I don't expect people reading this to really get this on the first read or without some kind of prompting or support in understanding it. But this thing about like what keeps people out of present time is this whole issue about approval and control. I learned that in direct centering, by the way, which was kind of a more Hinayana form of Buddhism, which I took in the late 1970s, early 80s, thereabouts. That was after I took the S training, which was very Zen styled. So at one time I was actually doing all three. I was doing a Hinayana, a Mahayana, and a Zen practice all at the same time. And that was wild. But for now, yeah, I'm a Buddhist, you know, and let's get to present time. Being a vegetarian. By the way, I'm in the parking lot of Whole Foods right now, speaking of eating well and getting into present time. I think being a vegetarian is an important part of getting into present time. Not only those particular foods, but I'm going to say wheat as well. I'm not a gluten-free dude, but at the same time, wheat tends to take me out of present time, and the cravings for animal protein take me out of present time. The animal proteins, take them or leave them, So, somehow that didn't put me at ease. That's when I figured out, look, even though I kind of restate what my purpose is, trying to find some peace in the moment, that didn't even put me at ease. Somehow that didn't put me at ease. That's when I figured out she was furious with me and she wanted me gone, so I was gone. Now, that doesn't relate to anything specific that was happening to me at the time I wrote this book. I wasn't under fire in a relationship. That wasn't going on. But that's what came out. And, looking at the destabilization, look, relationships, oh my God, relationships, high risk, high reward. Relationships have the ability to create in us, to help us to create so much value that we can amass great fortune out of the context of the relationship. But if we're into survival about that relationship and suddenly somebody wants you gone, your whole world can collapse. I should know. I'm divorced twice. And so I'm not going to try. I understand the obvious things in the book. I don't claim to understand all of them. And I'm not going to package stuff for anybody either. That would be useless. But at the same time, this is in keeping with the objective of the book, the fiction of forgiveness, because you know what? It's not as simple as saying, I'm sorry. Oh, please forgive me for the 150th time this month. It's not about that. I mean, this magic stuff, when they teach you this, okay, you guys, he was picking on you, shake hands and let's be friends. That's just such BS. We're taught from an early age there's something magical about, putting things behind us. Well, you know what? Lying about it, claiming to do it and not doing it, lying about it, is a sin. And I'm using a Christian word on that, sin, but it's not authentic. It doesn't work. So in the meantime, here we go. A few parting words about Buddhism. Buddhism is a practice. It's not a religion. I know that they love to get into that in certain practices around the world. They want to call it a religion. I really don't like that term. Buddhism is a mindset. Buddhism is a life philosophy. Buddhism is a practice. I do a 13th century Japanese practice based upon Nichiren, who decided at that time that the way to enlightenment was to chant the title of the Lotus Sutra, or Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam, fusing one's life. Myoho, the mystic law. Renge, cause and effect, is symbolized by the lotus flower. Kyo, through sound and vibration. So in repeating that phrase, one is putting oneself in rhythm with the universe. And the nature of ancient languages like Sanskrit, which this is, or even ancient Hebrew, is that there are certain sounds that create not pictorial understanding of reality, but an actual creation of vibration that influences reality, that actually manifests things in the real world. The magic of language, kind of the power of the word. So I know this is all over the place, but you know what? That's my life. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you so much. Buy the book. It's priced at, $5, something like that. And there's a digital version, which is $6. So get this one, all right? Actually, you know what? This isn't ready yet. You can't buy this one. This is just a proof. But I'm gonna actually ready the presses and instruct them to go ahead. I think we've cleaned it up fairly well at this point. Okay, be well. Thank you so much. Bye.